morning.
Good morning. Melanie, can you hear us too?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay. I'm going to mute myself back till we get started. How are you, Miss Green?
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just, we've still got 10 minutes or so. Okay.
Good morning, Miss Green.
Morning.
How are you? Do we have
I'm
any-
good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Do we have anyone else with us yet? Doesn't look like it.
Don't think so.
All right. And Miss Green, you're the GAL.
Yes.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I believe that we set aside a half day for this case. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Green, are you familiar with what issues have been decided and what issues are for the court today?
Um, Not really. I know that the parties were trying to come to an agreement. I think it might be outstanding child support, but I'm not 100% sure. And then I'm unaware of what's going on with the custody portion.
Okay.
So I'm not 100%.
All right. Mr. Strickland, how are you this morning?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
And I'm Judge Newkirk. Mr. Strickland, are you represented by counsel?
Yes.
Is that Mr. Hayes? Is that
Yes.
correct? All right. And Ms. Strickland is represented by Ms. Howard and maybe Mr. Kamel.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Strickland, I trust it looks like you might be in a vehicle,
Yes, sir.
but you're not driving, right?
No, sir.
Okay, good.
Mr. Hayes is having trouble logging on, so I'm gonna resend him the information.
All right. Sounds like we're being joined rapidly by other people. Nope, still just us. Mr. Kamel's with us.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Is it Kamel?
Kamel.
Kamel. Okay, thank you. Mr. Kamel, we're still waiting on your client.
Yeah, she was having some trouble logging in. I just resent her the link from Ms. Parsons. So
Okay. And I think Justin Hayes had some trouble logging on too, and he was just resent a link. All right, Ms. Strickland, good morning. Mr. Hayes is with us. All right. Good morning, Mr. Hayes.
Sorry about this, Judge.
That's all right. You made it.
Right.
Looks
Exactly.
looks like we're all here.
Great.
Mr. Hayes or Mr. Kamel, as petitioner, what attorney for petitioner, what issues remain outstanding?
there, it helps if I unmute myself. Mr. Hayes and I actually spoke over the weekend, and we spoke again this morning. Really, the outstanding issues are the financials. I know that my client is agreeable to Ms. Green's proposed parenting plan. So the custody and visitation issue, assuming nothing's changed there, I think Justin and I agreed that we have an agreement as to the parenting plan and schedule. The issue, the major issue is child support, Your Honor, as well as my client's request for attorney's fees.
Okay. And Mr. Hayes, would you agree with that assessment?
Yes, Your Honor. We appreciate Ms. Green. We appreciate Ms. Green's work on the case, and she tweaked the parenting plan within the last couple of weeks in a way I think that both parents and both counsel agreed to. So we're Dad and I are both on board with the new parenting plan that she submitted last week, and we agree with Mr. Kamel about the issues being the financial.
All right. Ms. Green, thank you very much for your service.
You're welcome.
That sounds like you had a pretty smile and carried a big whip.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. You're welcome to stay on board if needed, but if you're not needed, you're welcome to go on to other duties.
I'll just mute in case I need to be called or anything. I don't have to log back in.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Well, Mr. Kamel, I'll allow you to proceed as petitioner.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll just do a brief opening. The largest issue in this matter is just as I stated before, there's the issue of child support. It is our contention that Mr. Strickland is perfectly capable of earning substantially more than he is claiming to earn at this moment. He has historically earned and been the primary breadwinner for the family. And furthermore, as the court will see, there is substantial evidence that throws his current alleged income into question because of past claims he's made as to varying levels of income. So we're going to be asking the court, I will be sending over, as part of my directive, my client, I will be sending over a copy of a prepared child support worksheet that I worked up over the weekend. That shows that we believe that Mr. Strickland is capable of paying $1,000 in child support. And we believe that that's appropriate. We are also asking that he be ordered to pay no less than $5,000 in attorney's fees for his conduct in this matter that has caused my client's fees and costs to skyrocket because of multiple delays and additional work that was caused by or inflicted upon counsel in this matter by Mr. Strickland's conduct.
All right. You may call your first, Mr. Hayes, would you like to make a brief opening?
Just briefly, Judge, I entered the case, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months ago. There is a temporary order in the case that was issued on January 4th. In that temporary order, child support was set at $226 per month by Judge Rabowski Houston, J.O. Rabowski Houston. And essentially what we've been arguing about in the case, because we haven't been arguing really about custody very much, and Ms. Green's done, a good job on that. But this financial issue has been an issue. During the case, my client's housing has been very unstable. Part of what I think you're going to hear about some of the financial shenanigans was directly related to my client trying to get a place to live, trying to get an apartment. And he will testify as to why he did that and what he did. He is self-employed essentially as a handyman and installs electronic and related type things. But we think that the child support being set at $226 a month under the temporary order should give you an indication of the actual financial realities of these people. And he did have questions as a pro se party about whether he should enter into an agreement at mediation. He was anxious about that. He didn't know what he should do. That has stabilized since I entered into the case and helped him. And we have prepared child support worksheets that essentially impute income to him that he is not earning. And when those numbers spit out with Ms. Strickland's relatively new job in property management, the numbers are somewhere between $250 and $410 per month. But right now, Mr. Strickland is essentially staying with friends and family. He does not have stable housing right now. And the idea that he could afford to pay $1,000 a month in child support, we just don't think that's going to be supported by the actual evidence of what he's actually earned, not some of these financial shenanigans that went on during the case before I entered it.
All right, Mr. Kamel, you may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would call my client, Courtney Strickland.
All right, Ms. Strickland, if you'll raise your right hand, please. Your other right hand.
Oh, sorry.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or so affirmed?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Counsel?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Courtney, again. Just very briefly, state and spell your name for the record.
Courtney Strickland, COURTNEY STRICKLAND.
And are you asking the court to grant you a full and complete divorce today?
Yes.
Have irremediable differences arisen between you and your husband that cause you to feel that there is no way of saving your marriage?
Correct.
Okay. And as the plaintiff in this matter, when you filed this divorce, had you been living in the state of Georgia for at least 6 months?
Yes.
And when you filed this divorce, had you been living in the county of Fulton for at least 3 months?
I was in Clayton County.
When you filed this matter, you were living in Clayton County.
Correct.
And had you lived in Fulton County previously?
No.
Okay. Was Mr. Strickland living in Fulton County?
Yes.
Okay. And had he been living in Fulton County for at least 3 months, to your knowledge?
When I filed, yes.
Okay.
2 months.
And then how old are you?
33.
All right. And where do you currently work?
I work in McDonough at Kamel Vista Apartments as a leasing agent.
Okay,
Did you say that Mr. Strickland had lived in Fulton County for 2 months prior to filing?
3.
Prior to filing, he was in Fulton County, but I don't know how long. It could have been around that time,
Or around what time?
around 2 or 3 months. I'm not particularly sure.
All right. I think the statute calls for 6 months residency, doesn't it?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor. That was 3 months was the habit when I was in California.
Right.
My apologies for the confusion.
So my question is, do I have jurisdiction?
That suddenly does become a question, because if my client wasn't living in the county and Mr. Strickland wasn't living in the county when this matter was filed, we might have a jurisdictional issue.
I would say we do.
Courtney, had you lived, let's go over this again. When did you move to Fulton County?
I never moved to Fulton County. I stayed in Clayton County.
All right.
So we filed in Fulton County because that's where Emmanuel ported his address at his mom's address, which I believe was Fulton County. So we had to serve him there, to my knowledge. So that's why we was Fulton County. I'm not particularly sure as to why.
All right. Your Honor, then if we could put my client on hold then and inquire briefly of Mr. Strickland of his residency.
That'll be fine. Ms. Strickland, raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or so affirmed?
I do.
All right, thank you. Ms. Strickland, prior to the filing of this lawsuit, where did you live?
Prior to the filing, I was homeless at the time.
Your home, meaning your mother's home?
No, I was homeless at the time prior of the lawsuit. I mean, the filing.
All right. Counselor, you go ahead and ask questions.
Mr. Strickland, when did you move out of, when did you stop living with Courtney?
I started living with Courtney, I believe it was October, the end of October of 2019, I believe.
And that house is in Clayton County?
Yes,
Okay. And you said you you stopped living with her and you were homeless for a while. When did you get residence again?
I end up moving to Orlando, Florida to try to start my life over.
Okay. And how long, and when did you move? So when did you move to Florida?
I moved to Florida maybe 2 months, a month after she put me out.
So so around November, December of 2019?
Correct.
Okay. And where do you live now?
Right now I stay in my car.
Okay. And you have no residence address at all?
No.
Okay. Have you ever lived in Fulton County?
I had set up my van. At the time I had a van. So I was living in my van outside my mom's house. And then from there I left and went to Florida. So I said I probably stayed at my mom's house maybe about a month.
And when did you leave Florida? Because you're living, I understand you're living in your car, but when did you park it back in Georgia?
I left Florida around probably 2 months after COVID. They shut down the entire city, so I couldn't afford to live there anymore. So I had to come home.
Okay, so around May of 2020?
Correct.
Okay, and so then you drove back to Georgia and parked your van in front of your mom's place again?
No, when I came back to Georgia, I applied to try to get an apartment.
And did you get the apartment?
I did get an apartment.
And when did you get that apartment?
I got that apartment October of last year.
Okay. And so that was October of 2020. And how long did you live in that apartment?
I lived in an apartment, I think going on 9 months.
Okay. And where was that apartment? Then that apartment was in what county?
Forest Park.
Is that Fulton County or Clayton County? I'm still new around
That's
here.
that's Clayton County.
Okay. It would appear, Your Honor, that we have a jurisdiction issue.
It would appear that way to me. And I think I don't think I can transfer this case down. I think he has to dismiss and refile. But if that's not the case, let me know.
I'd have to, I don't know. Justin, do you know?
I think it needs to be refiled with proper jurisdiction alleged in the complaint.
Okay.
All right, Mr. and Ms. Strickland, please continue to work with one another to keep your child's best interest in mind always. It looks like the case is properly going to be down in Clayton County, and hopefully they can fast track it, particularly in light of all of the work that the attorneys and parties have done so far.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Since I've been in McDonough, I guess the last over 2 years, can I just file in McDonough, or how does that work? Being that he don't have supposedly residency anywhere and he's living in his car.
Well, the testimony before the court is that he's lived primarily since he came back from Florida in Clayton County.
Mm-hmm.
So, and more importantly, you live in Clayton County, so.
No, I live in McDonough now. I've been in McDonough for almost the last 2 years.
But that's Clayton County.
No, it's Henry County.
McDonough is
Henry
Henry County.
Henry
So
County.
can I file
Okay.
in Henry County?
Yes. Yeah, we'll file in Henry County.
Okay.
All right, okay. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry we couldn't bring some closure to your issues, but Ms. Strickland, please continue to make the payments, at least the payments that you're making so far. And like I said, whichever county it lands in, Clayton or Henry, hopefully they can, y'all can talk to the assigned judge and get them to fast track it in light of what's occurred.
Okay.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Your Honor.
Mr. Kamel,
Yes, ma'am.
if you would like to just confirm that it can't be transferred, and let me know, I will hold off on getting an order dismissing it for jurisdiction until I hear back from you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I will call Henry County right now and see if we can just transfer it down.
Okay, thank
All right.
you.